Right from the start of the LiCCo project, education, learning was central really as one of the four major objectives to achieve. And the great thing about LiCCo is that it has been at its very heart from the beginning.
Working to get children interested in estuaries, so using the ex-estuary, for example, as an outdoor classroom. So 250 primary school children each year over the past 3 years have been taken out and have been digging for lugworms and digging for crabs, etc. And that covers issues around coastal change, climate change, sea level rise, and the habitats and the creatures that make estuaries and coastlines so special.
From my point of view and my involvement with the Jurassic Coast and the National Trust and so on, it was about how do we get these stories across to the wider community? Who are we talking to? Talks to groups like Rotary and Women's Institutes and so on are okay up to a point, but they're generally to a particular age group. And one of the things that we hadn't done, and until now haven't done at all well, was the schools side of things. I'm absolutely delighted what's been done. I've been involved with it in a very peripheral sense, just introducing some of the background to coastal change. But I think it's a real breakthrough.
Amount of lessons learned from the project, and I've been focusing on engagement lessons in particular. There's probably too many to list, but I think one thing that's been really useful is working with existing trusted local partners. So people like the Dorset Coast Forum, the Ex-Estuary Management Partnership, people in the areas already know these organisations, trust them and respect their point of view. Another thing I think which has become clear is you just have to use simple language. So you can't use jargon and abbreviation and not using one communication method. So making sure that you use a method that is suitable, whether it be social media or whether it be a leaflet or whether it be a website or whether it be a face-to-face conversation. And a particularly interesting point which we found is the value of films and media. The YouTube films have been fantastically well received and viewed by nearly 2,000 people. And the value of an image, even just one black and white image, if you get the right one, that sparks a debate, and you can then have a one-to-one conversation with people about, oh, I didn't know it used to look like that. And it starts a whole process then of dialogue, which is really, really useful.
Children and young people who are going to live to see the next century, and we've had 9 and 10-year-olds here with us this morning who did wonderfully and showed us that beyond 50 or 60 years they're going to have to be making the decisions and living with the consequences of what we decide now. We want learning to be about knowing stuff but also doing stuff, but ultimately children and young people being of positive agents of change for the future.
Making sure that youngsters have got this opportunity to ask questions, to be able to explore those questions, come up with solutions to those questions, which in some cases are solutions which the older generation will never come up with because they're already locked into a framework of policies and structures and so on. And I think that's potentially the biggest outcome for me from this meeting.
Development of the education resources has been the key legacy issue and the key item which will go forward really and be left as a reminder of the good work that the project's done. But actually they're part of a stepping stone, and you know, we've got to continue to talk to people so that people can have their say in how the coast is managed. And it's only when people really start engaging and understanding and telling us what they want that I think the agencies involved will start to function as well as they can, really.